Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is going to be my entrance to the NYX Cosmetics Face Awards 2017. I'm very excited to be entering, so get ready to see all NYX products for this amazing look that I'm actually very proud of. I wanted to do something with my Primary Senses series, which is why you see my lovely Pan Pride colors in there. And let's just get into it. So I'm starting out with the NYX Cosmetics color correcting bases, or primers as well. You can skip this step, like I say every time, if you don't have redness that you feel like you want to cancel. I feel like I have redness that shines through my foundation, and because we are going to be working with white SFX paint from NYX, I want to make sure that my canvas is completely neutralized, which is why I did the green and peach. The peach right under my eyes, and I'm also doing peach on my lower half of my face, which I usually don't do because when working with white, I don't want it to be tampered with by any undertones. So I'm going very carefully, making sure everything is neutralized. It'll stop grayness from showing from my facial hair. I'm a boy. Anyway, we're going in with the NYX Total Control Foundation and their Total Control brush on one shade up from my actual skin tone. The reason I went one shade up is because of that white paint that I keep talking about, but we're never gonna see. No, we'll get there, I promise. Because it's gonna blend easier into this tone than my actual skin tone, which is about 1.5 shades darker. So if you're wondering why I look like a creepy, pasty ghost, a jar of mayonnaise, more than usual, that's why, so that I can get easier blending. So today's look, we're using my Primary Senses colors, the yellow, magenta, and cyan. I love those colors, and I was wondering how am I going to use them in my video today. So I'm just teasing you guys. This is a contour with the NYX Cosmetics Mineral Stick Foundation in the shade 13. It's going to blend out layered with another of their stick foundations and a number that I didn't write down, so I don't know right now. But it's two of their mineral stick foundations. You're gonna buff it out with your sponge, making sure that there's no harsh lines that you don't want, unless you want that fierce drag contour, which I do quite often nowadays. Just buff it until you're happy. Anyway, as I was saying about those Primary Senses colors before I get cut off by myself going too fast again, I'm going to be using some geometry, which is like a new thing for me because I've been really loving this chick's Instagram account. It's been really inspiring me. So if you want to see some cool geometry, I will put her in the description box below. So now I'm adding some contour powder from one of the NYX Cosmetics contour powder palettes, and this is one of their new brushes. These are all their new brushes, actually. Blending it with the dirty foundation brush just so that everything is even. And then I'm unsticking some tape on the back of my hand. The reason you're gonna wanna do this is because the tape could potentially take off your foundation. I use tape quite a bit in my looks. I've done some geometry stuff before, and people always comment in the Instagram's comments how the tape doesn't take off your foundation. Always unstick it. An added benefit of this is it's not going to be ripping at your face skin or pulling it, especially if you're using it for eyeliner. I would always unstick it first, otherwise you're going to be pulling at your skin, causing wrinkles, and it could really hurt you. So just unstick it first. The forehead's a little tricky because it is rounded, but once you get that secured, this step is a lot easier. You can just take it from the corner of the forehead right to the edge of the lip and then secure it at the ends. Because it is unsticked first, you lose some of the tackiness. So I like to add some extra tape at my temples and under my chin to make sure when I'm going crazy with face paints and my fingers that the tape doesn't get moved and then the entire thing is ruined, which probably is gonna happen anyway. Spoiler alert. Now I'm taking the NYX Cosmetics Vivid Brights cream colors, the cream version of the Vivid Brights eyeliners. I am taking the shade Love Overdose in the upper right-hand side of my face. When I'm working with my Primary Senses colors or the Pan Pride colors or printer paper colors, I like to make sure that they each have their own moment. So I usually pick one corner of whatever canvas I'm working with for each color. So my upper right-hand corner is going to be the magenta corner. I'm taking Blueprint cream color and I'm going to mix it on the back of my hand because it wasn't that perfect cyan I wanted with another one in the shade Aqua Sapphire. Sometimes with things of the same formula, they don't mix very well, but these I had no problem with mixing them. So if you're nervous about breaking down one specific shades formula with another one, I didn't come across any problems with that. So I am just dabbing this across the other side of my face, trying not to be symmetrical or mirroring anything, just express yourself and have fun. You can see I didn't do magenta on my eye on one side, so I did blue on the eye on the other side. Cyan, excuse me. Just so that each color has its own moment and uniqueness, but I don't want there to be any abruptness either. So after we place the initial colors down, you can go back and blend them. Here I'm taking yellow, and I usually save yellow because it does photograph and is seen as the brightest of the colors for the high points of my face, as in the top of my chin, the middle of my nose, my forehead, just so that you get somewhat of a highlight going if you're not going to use an actual highlighter, although I am later in the video. I just like to make sure that my color palette hits the eyes in the way that I want it to. So once you have everything down, you're gonna go in with some NYX Cosmetics SFX paints. The yellow one was an SFX paint, by the way, not a cream color. Here is the green one, and anywhere where those colors meet, you can start patting it in to blend them. This is not to take away from the color's individuality or its own moment per se. It's just to make sure that there aren't any places that the eye focuses on, like, oh man, that's a harsh line when there's no other harsh lines on the face. So just pat it with your fingers and lightly blend it down. Here I'm going to be taking the NYX little pack-in brush, little tiny one, and going along the tape because I don't trust myself to use dirty fingers on a white paint. I don't want to get it impurified or something. So once that's down in the way that I want it to, I'm going to take my damp sponge and buff it out and blend it into the foundation, which is why I went one shade up. And I want to keep that contour as well, because in between the tape, I want you to be able to see that there was a beat face underneath, you know? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's why I'm buffing it down. Same thing other side, same thing up top. Let me tell you guys about the up top part. That forehead tape, can you see how crinkly it is? It was trying me. And I knew while I was doing this step that you're watching right here that it was going to be terrible when I took the tape off. But I kept going. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to leave it in the video because I don't want people to think that this is like some kind of perfect thing that happened on the first try. So if you mess up on any of these steps or you completely ruin your tape and ruin your life, don't worry. There's salvation and you're gonna be great. So here I'm taking the Vivid Brights eyeliners in the matching shades, the pink, the yellow, the blue, and I am painting them onto a toothbrush and just spritzing it all over my face. Now, if you get it dirty with your finger and it's not wet enough to spritz anymore, you can just tap that toothbrush right to your face. It'll still give you the desired texture, which is what I ended up having to do with all of them, except for the NYX white eyeliner, which is what I'm using here. I dumped it out onto a mixing palette, just a stainless steel one, I think. And that gave me some nice speckled texture, which I was finally happy with. So if you're struggling with that step as well, don't worry, you're not alone. Time to peel the tape off. I make a lot of dumb faces for this point because it's really good for Instagram's cover photos, because it kind of looks like you're peeling off your skin if you got foundation on the back side of the tape, which is always kind of a cool clickbaity thing. So I'm going to skip past those dumb faces and pull the tape off. As you can see, the forehead line is not as straight as I want it to be. My right side of the triangle is not as straight as I wanted it to be, so I'm going in and fixing it with a brush and then having to blend it, add some more of that contour powder from the palette, and that really nifty brush that I liked. And here we're gonna add some highlight. I should have done this before the tape. I have no idea why I waited until afterwards, but I took it straight from the applicator and then buffed it with a brush. Similarly, I did some eyeliner with the white SFX paint and then buffed it with a brush. This is gonna double as under eye concealer, just brightening underneath the eye. So you look hecka awake, like you had, I don't know, 25 hours of sleep because you're using straight white. It's gonna be amazing. I like a felt tip liner because it's very precise, and I just want to make sure that the lashes I pop on aren't going to have a disconnect, so I added some of that felt tip liner along my lash line, and then layered white lashes and black lashes to give myself some kind of reverse shadow effect that I thought would look cool. Then I took a handful of the paint, like a literal handful, got way too much, and then buffing it at the top of my neck, making sure it blends to match the cheek and the forehead. And with that, I think it's the last step. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I cannot wait to see everyone else's entries to the NYX Cosmetics Face Awards. They're so lovely for hosting this competition. So thank you for watching this. Subscribe if you feel like it. Hit me up on the Instagrams, on the Twitters, on the Snapchats, whatever you feel like, and have a lovely rest of your day. Goodbye, everybody. Love you so much, and thank you for your support.